David, four new cars from Nissan. What are they?
There's the Qashqai, there's the X-Trail, there's the Pathfinder, and totally different, there's the Z.
My favourite, the Z, way back up there. Let's have a quick look at Qashqai. It's a completely different look. E-Power powertrain, which is some hybrid setup, but we'll talk more about that in the full review in due course.
It's not launched yet, it's just showing, as is the other cars as well.
In fact, none of these cars are currently on sale. If you look up Nissan's website, you'll see that they are all coming soon. But let's have a look at the front of this, which is, I think, the controversial part.
There's very strong lines here, doesn't it?
The biggest point that they tried to make was that all of these new cars have their ProPilot system in one form or another, which various car companies call various things, but it's active cruise control, active lane control, lane departure, auto braking, all of that sort of stuff.
And the top of the range ones, that is common across most of them, except for the Z, has a great big head-up display. Not just little squidgy sort of numbers, but a wide screen, as well as widescreen in the middle and wide in front of the driver.
Well, I tell you what this feels like. It's got a bunch of space in it. The interior is brand spanking new. David's adjusting things. You'll have to excuse him. He's from Tasmania. No, he's not really. We've got a lovely big full wide LCD screen and another big full wide LCD screen, David, and you've got a heads-up display as well.
And the amount of information you can get off this is incredible, but it also can be very clear. And look at the space. I'm sitting back here. I'm about to fall asleep.
Do you want to see something sexy? Look at this. That is absolutely, I really love this as a place for your phone look.
It's rather minimalist, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of choice there, which you quite like. You don't like it to be...
Well, you've got an EV mode button, which means you can use this car in EV, but it's just that it's pretty and it's simple. It's taken everything that I didn't like about the previous Qashqai and made it better. And there is a ton of room in the back. So when you're getting into the back, your friends will take advantage of this door that opens near 90 degrees. Pretty good.
Do you want me to get in the back?
Yeah,
I got into the back of the Z. Oh, no, I didn't. That's all right.
No, back of the Z. Have a look at this.
You know, for a screen, having a skylight there, I've still got a reasonable amount of room, of headroom.
And there's a decent amount of leg room. David's thighs are supported, thundery though they may be.
Not quite enough, but yeah. Very plush seats.
Always one. I like this a lot. I like it for its floating roof and this little opera window that is actually glass. I think Nissan have done a really good job of trying to make the car, because remember this is going to be around for another 6 or 7 years, a car that'll look good into the future. Did you say Z?
It's not head-up's not in the Z.
Oh, I think we should have a look at the Z.
Okay.
Have a look at this. Now this is not just a pastiche. It's not something weird. It's an homage. It's an homage to the original Datsun 240Z from 68?
Late 60s.
Late 60s, but with a bit of the Nissan 300ZX.
A lot of criticism has been levelled at the front with a very square grille. That is traditional in the look if you look at a 240Z, but it's not quite as deep in the older car. I think the number plate will break that up a bit and make it a little better than some of the publicity shots we've seen earlier.
I think the publicity shots look great, and when these lights are on, they're two little kind of like hands clasping the LED lights. I think this looks sensational.
It's interesting that it came, the 240Z, as the Japanese E-Type, which you get the long bonnet and the lights into the mudguard here. The modern trend now has been more angles and creases. This hasn't gone that way. They're there a bit, but it's not nearly as strong as some.
I think it's tasty, I tell you. These tail lights are straight off Well, more or less. That 300 ZX. So they've made everything look new, but retro. And it's retro in a good way, not retro in a, what was that Chrysler thing?
The PT Cruiser and things, and
God,
whatever.
That was so ugly you had to tie a chop around it to get the dog to play with it. Let's have a look at this car from the side. It doesn't look it under this light, but this yellow is actually metallic. Lovely big dished wheels. And look at this. How's that for a door handle? I think that's amazing.
The nice thing is it's accentuated too, the door handle. It's got this nice little bit around it as well, so it makes it as a feature. When you put this, you saw the picture with the 240Z and this, you could see that they were cousins at least, almost siblings, but have generated a large gap in the generation.
For a change, they didn't muck it up. They've gotten this exactly right. There's a bit of bracing in the back, pretty shallow boot. You may as well, while we're here, have a quick look inside. The seat belts present themselves on this little armature. There's airbags all over the place. Now, unlike some of the other cars that were revealed today, the X-Trail and so forth, there's no centre airbag. And in fact, the safety for this car isn't quite as, let's say, extreme as it is for the others. Why? Small volume car, these people are going to want to have a bit of fun with it. That was the reasoning anyway. Inside, I think this looks absolutely delicious. They've done a really super job. The old one, frankly, was starting to look really tired and tatty, as fun as it was to drive. This has got more power, it's got more style, it's got more grace, and it's got a lovely soft touch dash.
With a very distinct stitching there. This is a manual. 70% will be manual in the first year, but then it'll go back to about 30, so you get the enthusiast first. The only thing is, they're not too bad, but the switches for your heated seats in the early 370s, you used to bump it with your elbow and you drive along, you think something's gone wrong.
Well, I think this looks dead sexy, a fully digital driver's cluster. Some traditional gauges, David, up here to make it look a little bit, what's the word?
Oh, it's a bit sporty.
Sporty.
Goes back to the sort of rally days, really, where you had a bit of information there.
And a lovely big screen with buttons the size of Tasmania.
Helps me. Alan, the Pathfinder, they are very keen to make it look aggressive enough, even though it might not be used that much, but they're making it a very strong front to it.
They've made a very, very big statement of this being rugged. More rugged than its predecessor, but not as rugged as its big brother, the Patrol, which apparently has been doing really well. What do you think of the front?
I find it a little bit of get out of your way, typical large, bullish SUV, but that's what it's made for.
Well, get out of my way and tell me what you think about the lights then.
I love this sort of lighting along the bottom here and the squinty look that you get.
I think it's nice. The only thing I'm not all that fussed on any Nissan is this V grille, but at least on this it looks in proportion. And of course, they've got the ProPilot thing and all of the ProPilot upgrade to the SUVs. There's a lot of safety. We're anticipating 5 stars on the ones that haven't yet been tested. The Z, of course, won't get any stars because it's not going to be tested.
The thing I love about this, you can get a model that has captain seats and you can remove the armrest in the middle and kids can get into the third row of seats.
This one, in fact, does have captain seats.
All right, Alan, the X-Trail. The only thing is, can we do this quickly? Here we are in this deserted car park. I expect a baddie to come running up any minute now and shoot us all.
I wouldn't mind being the baddie. It's a nice rough surface. And I think this would do particularly good on a rough surface. I actually really like the look of this X-Trail.
Okay.
I think it looks modern. It looks up to date. The interior, I think Nissan have done a first-class job of making the interiors look more premium, which I think in part previously let them down.
It's not as well. It's more balanced with this look here. Do you think it's big enough to cope with this design?
And all of the technology advancements that Nissan's made over the last 5 or 6 years has been distilled in these new models, and it's going to make them great for long distance, good for families, good for city work. I'm really struggling to find something that I don't like about it.
The quality of the car in this segment has gone enormously. There's no hybrid in this, which the competition of the RAV4 is doing very well, but I think they'll get there.
And of course, this is on the way to full electrification.
So, Alan, we've been up here to get a fleeting look at 4 new Nissans that are going to come out this year. There is the Qashqai, the X-Trail, the Pathfinder, 3 SUVs, and the Z sports car.
Z's my favourite.
Oh, yes.
Z's my favourite.
Yeah.
But, David, it has come that time again. We're not going to pick up too much more on these cars now because we will do a full review later. So, as always, it is time to leave a comment.
Press like.
And over there to subscribe.